more stars. Is it time?
Yes.
It's so quiet.
It's the deep breaths before the plunge.
I don't want to be in a battle. But waiting on the edge of one I can't escape is even worse.
Thanks for joining me again for the CONUS Brief. I appreciate you being here for the 1st of March. So it is definitely going to be a decent brief. Thanks again. We need to do this in a video format just to address the things that are going on. We're living in an uncertain time. In the long breath before a plunge is how I would put it, and how J.R.R. Tolkien actually put it at one point. He would know. He fought in World War I and experienced trench warfare, and understands what that means. And I feel uneasy about what's going on domestically, internationally right now. quite like it's the long breath before a plunge. And there's a lot going on. So back to CONUS. Right now, inflation continues its rise. And oddly enough, we need to understand and recognize that fuel consumption is a crazy thing at the moment. President Biden has tried to place sanctions on the Russians and their oil, as well as banking. And what we're seeing is that, and I don't know if anyone knows, but I will tell you, we consume better than 575,000 barrels of Russian oil in the United States a day. And that has not stopped. It's actually increased since the war in the Ukraine has started. So I don't know when President Biden talks about placing sanctions on someone who's invaded a country that that's going to work out. As well, he's mentioned about the SWIFT banking sanctions that he would like to put in place. But he's kind of told a half-truth about that as well. While they've certainly curtailed some Russian activity on SWIFT, they haven't closed it all off. It's like saying we placed 80% sanctions on something that needs 100% sanctions. Putin and the Russians still have ways to transfer money and use money, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with Western European dependence on Russian energy, just like America depends on it. But that has to be addressed. The United States was energy independent when POTUS 4.6 came into office. We are no longer energy independent. One of the first things that he did in his days in office was strike down the XL pipeline and shut off ANWR and other exploration for oil. This has made us incredibly dependent on other sources like OPEC and the Russians for our consumption needs. Not a significant thing to avoid talking about. So please keep this in mind as you see things domestically spiral given inflation and energy prices and costs. The second thing I'd like to talk about is super empowered actors. And the interesting thing that's happened with a super empowered actor here in the United States, Elon Musk. He was asked by the Ukrainians to support them in putting up Starlink internet link systems and assist them with their needs for internet during this time of crisis in the Ukraine. He did just that. And I bring that up because domestically, that raises our threat level a tremendous amount. And that is a single superpowered actor making that decision. This is something that we can't avoid talking about. This is not something that we can avoid as a country. He made decisions that could impact our own policies. our stance with foreign competitors, as well as those that we're very near at war with, which is the Russians. So when we talk about that long breath before the plunge, figure out what's going on. Everything's connecting between the domestic agendas and the domestic moves on the chessboards and the international moves, given the crisis that's going on in Ukraine. The third topic that we need to address is the State of the Union address that's supposed to happen today, though I'm recording this the night of the last night of February. Today, March 1st, the State of the Union address is going to occur, and the fences are back up around the White House. This coincides not only with the State of the Union, as I just mentioned, but also the Freedom Trucking Convoy, which should arrive in D.C. at any moment now as well. So we have a trucking protest colliding with the State of the Union address, and a country that is on the brink and verge of war. No light subjects for what's going on for this brief. I just want to thank you guys for being here with Battle Lab, and I hope you join us on our website at www.battlelab.us. As well, you can reach us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and of course at Patreon for our Patreon members. Thanks again for joining us.